Hey everybody, sorry I'm late for coming on. I'm going to talk to you about an interesting program, interesting film, a documentary film that's actually hopefully up for Oscar consideration. We'll just have to see what happens with the Academy announcements, but it's called Staunch Moderates, and it's got a cool logo. It really comes with this logo here. Yeah, that's your U.S. Capitol if you don't, recognize what it is. And let me tell you about Staunch Moderates. It's a really interesting concept that Greg Simmons and came up with. It's called now the Staunch Moderates movements and bridging divides for a more powerful, peaceful, and loving society. And it's got kind of a interesting mascot, Bigfoot, but I'll get to it later. And it goes like this. Greg says he was brought up primarily in a 12-step household on his mom's side, and she passed away after, I believe, 53 years of sobriety. And he says that in that environment, one is taught to take accountability for their actions, listens to one's story without interruption, and give back, be comfortable, make amends, and embody other mindful characteristics. It's pretty sound advice from his mom. He says from his father's side now, uh, his father divorced from his mother when he was 5 years old. He was a creative entrepreneur, businessman with conservative values. And he says he's personally a moderate conservative, striving to maintain a bipartisan perspective, valuing reaching across the table, across the aisle to achieve compromise and keep things moving forward. And so he brings this entrepreneurial perspective and this perspective drawn from both his mother and his father, among other occurrences in his life, to form the Staunch Moderates. He was born and raised in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, where he learned much from his father's entrepreneurial successes. And he had got a business degree from the University of Colorado, which I guess he's still a Buffs fan, particularly since Dion is the coach, but that's another subject. And he said about while at Boulder, he was inspired to pursue a career in real estate development and has successfully built a portfolio of properties in Boulder, Vail, and Aspen, Colorado. And he also participated in developing and building restaurants and other projects in California. His other work was on theatrical productions in college and inspired him to become a patron of the HBO U.S. Comedy Arts Festival, which took place for a decade in Aspen during the turn of the century, the 20th century. Well, 21st century. You got to remember what your turns are because you grow up in what's another story anyway. All right. So he went on to develop Aspen the series and get into another number of other pursuits. But this is how he came up with the idea of the Staunch Moderates movement. And he said he was talking about politics with friends and joking around, making fun of what they call extremists. And one of his friends said, I know, let's start a new political party, Staunch Moderates, right? And he said it got a laugh and then it fell into an interesting conversation. And he said he had many more of those kind of conversations throughout the 2019 year. On December 3rd of 2019, he filed the collective trademark for Staunch Moderates and then got to work. He started building a website, writing original documents, building content, right? And he said that campaigning the primaries with vital societal forms to build the movement and brand. Now I'm going to break off here and talk about why this is necessary beyond what Greg has said and reported. We have a problem where we have people on the extremes here. The problem was really born on the internet because particularly social media is such that it can actually push to you and out to other people this idea that, well, your position is right. And your position may be a prejudice about some someone else or some group, and you can go to a place where there's no challenge. And so, absent that challenge, your ideas fester, literally fester, um, and in ways that are unhealthy. And sometimes they can get to points where they are so unhealthy that they may lead others to take out actions that have been very damaging to society. Consider the mass shootings that we've seen and how a number of the perpetrators of these mass shootings have been people who were, one would say, radicalized by something that they saw on a social network or part of a group of people on a social network where they were posting negative things about people, right? So we have these extremes, and it's to the point where the audience to consume content related to extreme views has become so big that Fox News, which arguably started it and then feeded off of it, actually repopulated social thinking to keep it going, if only make money for itself. And then there are a number of political campaigns, the most notably Trump campaign. Did you know that the Trump campaign actually hired a social media organization to seed social media with such messages that were continuing this left-right idea? In other words, the development of the extremes, right? So that is what gave rise to the need for, well, something like this, Staunch Moderates. That's the idea. And that's what led to the documentary as well. So it's a big problem that they've really latched on to trying to solve. And now they have, as I've said, they have Bigfoot for their mascot. And why Bigfoot? I said Bigfoot, Greg says Bigfoot staunch. It's kind of happened to them. And Greg says he first bought a Bigfoot mask off the Gas House restaurant in Edwards, in Colorado. Is driving home in a winter blizzard, coming back from watching the Super Bowl. And he had this mask, right? And it was Super Tuesday. And he says they were producing a podcast while campaigning the primaries. And his favorite comedian, a guy named Bill Dawes, was in town. He invited Bill to walk the mask onto the set. He hung the mask on the wall because he said it looked cool as part of the set. And so Bigfoot Staunch became more and more a mascot of the movement, Staunch Moderate movement. And Bigfoot, he says, fit in a number of ways. Well, first of all, Bigfoot is the symbol of our country. It represents all moderates, like 80% or 90% if you think about it. We're all in the paradigm, this is what Greg is saying, paradigm shifting business from the most popular and terrifying folklore character to the coolest being on the planet, Bigfoot Staunch. And 3, paradigm shifting businesses. Paradigm shift is where you say, hey, look, this business, there are a number of businesses that paradigm shift. They take you off of doing a something. Think about it. Facebook is a paradigm shifting business. It shifts the paradigm of entertainment. It, on 3 occasions, won the award for best time waster at TechCrunch Disrupt. Regular viewers to my program know that I covered TechCrunch Disrupt, starting with the first TechCrunch Disrupt in New York in 2010. So, what was the winner of the Time Waster Award? Facebook. And it just seemed like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook founder and CEO, was just sort of, walking away with the award every single day, right? Or every single time that the Crunchies, as the awards show program, were up and produced. But paradigm shifting business is also, in Greg's thinking, equal moving away from extreme partisanship, vitriol, and hate into a more moderate, peaceful, and loving society. And so the future plans for Staunch Moderate are more music, more editions of the documentary series, and then the development of the Staunch Moderate experience. Spend 30 minutes, preferably an hour, on Staunch Moderate's robust website. Watch the Staunch Moderate's Mission Peace feature documentary, and listen to each of the 3 Staunch Moderates multi-genre hip-hop albums, The First Realm, Mission Piece, and 2023, each without multitasking or interruption. And the optional thing to do is to watch any of Staunch Moderate's 15 music videos. And then, one might ask, why? Why all this, right? And Greg says that the answer is to retrain our brains in society to move away from extremism, partisanship, vitriol, and hate that they're experiencing, significantly created by the advancement of a technology and social media, into a more moderate, peaceful, and loving society. And he says that they feel this along with one debate section in our course where peers, the class judge each contestant based on how they handle themselves or how to disagree politely, respectfully, and even lovingly. 2, each student will then write a report on what they've learned and how they feel about it. And they say or Greg says this should be a required course at many levels, perhaps grade school, junior high school, and college. Again, directing the students into a more moderate, peaceful, and listening mindset. And then they would love to have celebrities involved, like, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think they ought to involve Snoop Dogg, myself, or, both of them. That'd be cool. And then, of course, Lou Ferrigno, he mentions. Lou's a good guy. Harrison Ford, he says, as well. Didn't include Zenny Abraham in that, but hey, people make mistakes at times, don't they? So when he says he wants to know that this is not a kumbaya movement, and what Staunch Moderates is proposing is not easy, and it'll be a lot of work. He says if they work at it, having disagreements respectfully, accepting that everyone isn't like we are, accountability, their good values, and also making sure you don't call names of people online, like telling them that something they do sucks or something like that. That's just, it doesn't help. All right. You got to grow up. If you want people to be immature, Staunch Moderate says, then guess what? You got to grow up, folks, and resist the desire to call names of people behind a 2-dimensional plane. That's the biggest thing of all. Okay. So Staunch Moderate says that if we work at what I'm talking about, accepting that everyone isn't like we are, accountability, even for bad behavior, okay, and other good values, that we will get better and better at it. And much like an athlete gets better and better, and stronger the more they work out or run their patterns or, hit their tennis balls or whatever it is they do. So that's the idea behind Staunch Moderates. That's the way it goes. So there you go. I don't have an authorized clip for the documentary. There is the logo, right? But there is Staunch Moderates, and I'll keep you abreast of the news regarding it and the future of Staunch Moderates as it goes. Hopefully the Academy Award says something. We will know something soon, I would think. All right. Any other thoughts about this? Yeah. If you type Staunch Moderates in Google, I think you'll find that there's a treasure trove of videos and information about it. It'd be interesting to find out how one actually goes about starting a political party, right? Moderates. Let's see here. But there. And I'd like to actually have somebody on from the Democratic Party to talk about that. I'm a Democrat. And there's a lot of room for what that means today. What is a Democrat? Actually, you know what, folks? I actually asked that question. I asked the question, what is a Democrat? Not too long ago. And I'm going to share with you, before I share that with you, let me share with you what you will see if you type Staunch Moderates in Google. Voila. There it is. There's the results. I'll enlarge them here. Okay. And history. View, zoom in. Okay. And zoom in there. Okay. Staunch Moderates, Instagram, Facebook, Moderate Liberal Perspective, Happy Friday from Staunch Moderates. They've done a lot of stuff on Facebook. Staunch Moderates Philosophy, there's a video about that there. And the bottle of staunch versus staunch, and definition of staunch, how to use staunch versus staunch correctly. The rest of that has nothing to do with them. All right. So you've got, so that's it. So if you want to find out what Staunch Moderates is about directly, just lock in the search like this with the quotes. Actually, it says, well, because I misspelled staunch. There. Staunch. 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 There we go. Staunch Moderates. Okay. There. So now I've got the actual results. All right. And if you scroll down, it's nothing but there's Mission Peace. There's Twitter. All right. Apple Music. The songs they have. The about. There's Mission Peace to Staunch Moderates. Archive. All that stuff. Okay. So there it is, folks. Staunch Moderates. Now, I'm going to share with you something that I made. I want to share with you something that I made while I was covering the run-up to the 2008 Democratic National Convention, where Zinni Abraham, me, and Zinni62 YouTube, we called it Zinni Zeitgeist then, was one of the first 128 blogs ever in history to cover the historic 2008 Democratic National Convention. Yep, that's right. So, at any rate, in the run-up to that, I made a video called "What is a Democrat to You?" And I haven't seen this question posed, much, but I do think that in light of current affairs and like our conversation, right? Why are you a Democrat is what I asked, all right? And so I found the video, and I'm going to play it for you. It's only, 2 minutes, something like that. It won't take up much of your time for you to have a look at this. I think you'll enjoy it. Why are you a Democrat? And here is the video. And this goes back, way back. 16 is a 16-year-old video going all the way back to when I started this is Oakland's first YouTube channel, YouTube partner channel. Why are you a Democrat? Here we go.
Why are you a Democrat?
Because they have more, their values are more similar to what mine are. They're closer to what mine are than Republicans.
Exactly.
The answer is so broad that I don't even know where to begin. I'm a Democrat because I believe in equality of opportunity and social justice. Basic ideals ranging from equal rights for women and capable minorities all the way to an equal and fair society for economically for poor and middle classes and economic opportunity.
I was brought up in the 70s when there was more of a sense that you had to do the right thing, people should do the right thing. The media was better about calling politicians on that stuff, so I never lost that. And I'm happy that once again it's finally beginning to realize that we're all in this together. We are not
For me, I think one of the things over the past 6 years is I think the shift with the Republican Party and the way that it's going and the way it's treating America, basically. I just became involved in this process less than a year ago, and I think it's really important for us to get involved. That's pretty much for me, it seems you got two choices practically. I mean, if you want to be practical, you got two choices. I think the party's a better choice. No doubt about that.
Thanks. Well, I actually moved to this country with my family when I was a young child from Great Britain. My parents were always
what's that sound? Everybody listen, let's go.
As I was growing up,
associate myself with Democrats. And as I've been old enough to really understand what that meant, it just seemed more and more natural. I'm very happy that's the country is seeming to swing back in that direction again now.
I was definitely born a Democrat, and then beyond that, it was just the belief that all the things, all the sort of privileges I was born with are not things I inherently deserve, and that no matter where you're born or in what situation, you should be able to achieve that if you work hard, and so forth.
Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going, we better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going, we better stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going, we better stop. Children, what's that sound?
I'm proud to be a Democrat. I will never stop being a Democrat because we have a big tent of thought. We have conservatives and we have liberals. We have those in between. And we have an increasingly wider, broad array of people with different behaviors. We're a beautiful party. And I'm proud that the party recognized what I did and I was doing and allowed me to cover the Democratic National Convention. And it was really a heady experience, folks. And something that, and I have enough material to document and make a pretty cool documentary myself here. It was, wow. I think the one thing that really causes me, when I think about it, to just really freeze and think about what I enjoyed about covering the 2008 Democratic National Convention was just the feeling that with Barack Obama poised to become the Democratic representative for president, that we really had hit the zenith of our possibilities at that time, at least politically. We really did. The feeling that all the crap that comes with racism was washed away. Now, I know there are a number of people who believe, well, okay, that wasn't the case. But also it was that, but also the fact that new media was just coming to national attention. And so there were a number of tools that I used. For example, I remember I did a program and CNN featured this because I was a CNN iReporter. Actually, I was on iReport, which is kind of like what we do now at Zenny 62 Media. But iReport, I was on it before CNN bought it. So they sort of inherited me. But this is what I made. Watch this.
I'm going to explain how we at Sports Business Simulations, SBS Media, Zenny Zeitgeist blog are going to use new media to bring the Democratic National Convention experience to you. Now, what is new media? There are a number of different definitions, but for the purpose of this presentation, the definition of new media is the use of digital technology to transfer voice, text, and visual information from one person to another person or a large group of people as cheaply and quickly as possible. Now, this is what we're going to do. I describe our production process in two primary categories: hardware, computers, like the MacBook that I use, this iPhone, the camcorder that I use, and other devices that are tangible. And then software, the blogger platform upon which Zenny Zeitgeist rests, YouTube, where you watch the videos, and iMovie, which edits the videos, and other online-based primarily or software-based in the computer devices. Now for hardware, of course, there is the MacBook that's used.
Still is.
Camcorder, which is right here. See that? Hello, folks. That's the camcorder. And then, of course, we have the always trusty iPhone, which we're going to use to not just take photographs like this one, for example, but also we're going to use it to actually send a blog post. I'll show you how that's done right now. This is the Zenny Zeitgeist blog here. And if I scroll down just a bit, you can see our current article on Harry Didden. Watch what happens. Okay, here's what I wrote. Speaker Pelosi's $10,000, that's 10K, DNC convention fundraising plan upsets bundlers. And that's the subject, and that's the body. So let's say send from my iPhone. So watch this. Press send. Going across. There. It's sent. Hear that little sound there, swish sound? Now, put this down and over here. And we will go to the Zenny Zeitgeist blog. Press the reload button. Take a look. Speaker Pelosi's 10K DNC convention package upsets some bundlers. And there's the text. Sent from my iPhone and right into the blog. Now, yes, I edited out the portion where I was waiting for the famous spinning wheel of death, as Mac heads call the delay signal on the MacBook, to settle into a cursor. But even with that, the total wait time in this slow Wi-Fi environment tonight was about 35 seconds. I could do that from anywhere. So I'm going to be in Denver posting blog reports using my iPhone at times right to Zenny Zeitgeist. Now let's take a look at the software side of the production process. You've already seen Zenny Zeitgeist. Zenny Zeitgeist is based on the Blogger blog software platform, started originally by Pyro Labs and now owned by Google. But there's also something else that you've seen, and it's iMovie. This is iMovie that I use to edit the videos that are uploaded from the camcorder. Now, before you get after me about not using iMovie 8, I don't like iMovie 8. And there are a lot of you out there who understand why. I'm not going to get into that here. I've talked about it before. I like this version of iMovie, and I might just migrate to Final Cut Pro as well, but I like this. I'll also be using something called Twitter. I love this, folks. Let me show you how it works. First of all, Twitter is a short messaging platform. The messages you write into the field, for example, where it asks me what am I doing, are generally around up to 150 characters. In this case, I'm telling my followers and others that I'm making a using new media at the DNC convention video. Now, watch what happens when I press the update button. Update. Now, see? Zenny62, making a using new media at the DNC convention video. I can put in a text link, as Brian Solis has done here. This is a link to a video, I believe, or a web page. Or I can just write text. But in this case, this is how it affects the blog that you're going to go to, Zenny Zeitgeist, to get your DNC convention information. Twitter widget at the Zenny Zeitgeist blog that you've seen before. Watch what happens when I refresh the blog. Press this, and I'll go over here. The Twitter message that I left on my main page is now on the Twitter widget at Zinni Zeitgeist blog, and it says using new media at the DNC convention video right here on Zinni Zeitgeist blog. Believe it or not, folks, it doesn't end there. That same message is going to appear, actually already has appeared, on my Facebook page. Take a look. This is my Facebook page, and over to the right, we see my Twitter-enabled status, Xenophon, making a using new media at the DNC convention video. And it doesn't stop there. Zinni Zeitgeist has its own widget that is also used on our other blogs in the SBS blog network, our NFL business blog, our Oakland and San Francisco blogs, and so on. In addition, you can also find our blog content at FeedBurner and FriendFeed as well. Think about what I've done, folks. Instead of just having a message separately placed on my blog page and my Twitter page and my Facebook page, I have one message that started at Twitter, but because of the widget, was also placed simultaneously on Zinni Zeitgeist blog, and because of the Twitter app for Facebook, on my Facebook page. I've now successfully reached 3 different audiences at once, and then add the audiences from the other blogs through our widget, and then of course our RSS feeds as well. That's basically 6 different audience bases reached with one message delivered through Twitter and through our blogs, either directly on the blog or through the iPhone. Finally, YouTube's Zinni62 channel will be the central home for our videos from the DNC convention. But in addition, we're going to upload our videos to CNN's iReport for use by the CNN team as part of its telecast of the DNC convention. In this case, the channel is still called, you guessed it, Zinni62. This one on iReport. But in addition to using YouTube and iReport, we're going to use TubeMogul to upload one video to as many as 15 different YouTube type sites. Now, what do I mean? I mean YouTube competitors like Bright Cove, Daily Motion, and Blip TV. Why? So that the video we send out receives maximum exposure. So that ends my video presentation of how we're going to use new media to bring the sights, sounds, and action of the DNC convention to you quickly, efficiently, cheaply, dramatically, and we hope you enjoy it.
So there that is, folks. That's what I did as far as that, and it was just a heady, superbly heady experience. The 2008 Democratic National Convention is amazing, and I think even gave United a shout out there. Did I? What was I doing with United? United Airlines at Denver.
Enjoy our free, fresh, hot breakfast any way you like.
Vlogging. I'm not going to show this whole one.
I'm proud to say that
So I can get ready.
I was in Denver. If you are ready, and 11 o'clock in the morning, it gets in an early afternoon.
And that was like a more of a, okay. Then this is the first day on the Pepsi Center. I'm proud of that music.
Democrat National Convention. You can see the podium behind me. You see that? Spectacular. It's been a great day. I just got off the Ron Owens show. I was just interviewed by Bloomberg. Talked to a lot of people, and there's more to come. So with that, I'm going to sign off because I've got to get out of here and give way to our other bloggers that are supposed to be in here soon. They're with Zenny Zeitgeist.
This is the school. They give that these tickets. Other classes are super honored.
Obama for not being anti-war crowd is out there big. They act like they want to. I think their word is out here. Sorry about that.
Folks, that was the calm before the storm. Okay. That was the calm before the storm. And then, of course, there was the night of the speech down in, we had to transfer over to Invesco, East Carolina Invesco Field.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna stop that right there because that was just, oh, that was so incredible. And I was blessed to be there as press and have Lennar, yes, Lennar Home Builders, Lennar Real Estate as sponsor for an event that, well, last time, just last time, no other, and I say last time, I mean last throughout time, no other way to put it than that. The 2008 Democratic National Convention. Let's hear a little bit more of that with you two in the background.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you, Lennar. Like I said, cannot thank Lennar enough. That was just absolutely fantastic. All right. But that's how movements, political movements are started. It's one person with a vision, with a charisma to communicate that to others. And there you go. If Staunch Moderates can present that kind of person, they're on to something. Let's see what happens. Subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark OaklandNewsNowBlog.com, and our newest website, ZennyReport.com. We'll see you.